Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Jasmill. It's 12:30 in the freaking morning. I did my makeup and I was like, let me just film a YouTube video because I'm on my YouTube grind lately and I'm already, done up. My hair's looking cute. So today we're gonna talk about a little spicy and saucy. Damn it, I kind of want to like have my robe on, my sexy robe on, but whatever. It'll just look like I'm naked even though I have like, a strapless dress on. I want to talk about sex, love, sexuality, feeling powerful as a woman, and learning about your body, feeling comfortable and okay to talk about these topics with people that you trust and that you love, even if you haven't before in the past. Just like my experiences and stuff. I lost my virginity at 16 years old and it was very, very strange for me. First of all, I thought that I was gonna save it till marriage because growing up I had two cousins that were really into Christianity. They were really, really religious. They were about 7 to 9 years older than me, and they already got married by that point, and they were giving me advice and mentoring me and just telling me that waiting is best. My whole teenage life, I always heard that waiting is the best thing for a young woman, especially, Christians. And my mom didn't really have anything to say about it. I am Dominican. Feel like, yeah, moms don't really talk to you, especially in my culture, about sex. Always avoided the subject. I knew that I always guessed that she wasn't a virgin when she got married to my dad. She would never confirm it. She would never talk about it. She would never talk to me about her story. Maybe it was uncomfortable for her because I was her young little baby. But yeah, she had me. She was pregnant with me when she got married to my dad, and she had a lot of boyfriends before my dad because she got married when she was like 25-ish. And she said that she, had multiple sexual partners in the past. Because she didn't confirm and deny, she strongly wanted me to go down that path of like not having sex and maybe waiting until I was married. But she wasn't also crazy strict, and she was never like, you're gonna go to hell if you have sex. And she wasn't like that either. She was just like very kind of neutral and didn't want to talk about it. What I saw on TV, Teen Mom was big around that time when I was in high school, and we had like one sex ed class, but it was not educational at all and it wasn't helpful at all. So yeah, I was with my ex-boyfriend for like 6 months before I decided to do it with him. We were both kind of Christians. We were both into like going to church and reading the Bible and praying and everything, so we did feel guilty as well. But we both thought that we were gonna end up with each other and get married and everything, so we thought that that was okay. And we thought if we limited it to like doing it one time a month, it was fine and it wasn't that bad. But we were just young and naive and whatever. But something that I really wish that I did back then that I didn't is I wish I wore protection. I don't regret not being on the birth control pill because I was never into putting kind of like medicine, and unless I was on my period and I was really, really having bad cramps and I needed pain relievers. But I really didn't want to mess with my body in that sense because I heard a lot of the effects and side effects that a lot of my friends got. Till this day, I never taken birth control, and I feel like I would never take birth control pills just because I don't want to affect my body like that. And there are other methods now, but I never wore we never wore protection, and that was really dangerous. I could have been 16 and pregnant or 17 and pregnant. My life could have gone completely different. I just wish I knew more about how to protect myself. I wish I knew more about the dangers. And he told me that he was faithful and everything, but I'm like 90% sure that he wasn't faithful in our relationship. But I did get myself tested, and I've gotten tested like 3 or 4 times for all the STDs and HIVs, and I never came back positive. Thank you, Lord. I do not know what he was doing behind closed doors, but thank you, God, for protecting me. In high school with my boyfriend, it was not that good. Like, I feel like the best part of being intimate with someone in that way was just cuddling and feeling like you're loved and feeling, but the actual intercourse part, like the penetration part, it wasn't the best. And he kind of knew as well, because he would always say like, it doesn't look like you're enjoying yourself that much and you're not making any noise and you're not like into it. And I wasn't. I would just lie there. I would kiss him and everything, of course, and I would feel loved, and I wanted to do it with him. It wasn't like he was forcing me. So yeah, I just didn't know about my body. I didn't know. We were both young. We didn't know what we were doing. We were really inexperienced. I mean, he probably had more experience than I did, but I just think we were too young. And if I could go back, I kind of actually wouldn't have wanted to lose my virginity. I wish I would have like kept it until college maybe, or a little bit after, just because when you're young and you don't know your body and you don't know how to protect yourself and you don't know the consequences and the emotional and mental consequences of being intimate with another person, it can really, really mess you up, and you can face a lot of huge consequences. You can get pregnant, you can contract an STD, and that can make you infertile and can really mess up your immune system. You can go through a lot of heartbreak, and that can mess you up emotionally and spiritually for a really long time as well. There's just a lot of things that come with sex. And also, I just feel like when you're that young, I don't feel like for me being intimate with someone else was the right thing. Maybe for someone else it could be, but I wish I knew more about having intercourse with myself and learning my body. I just felt like it was always a no-no. I felt like masturbation was wrong, and you know, it was a sin. I just never felt like I was that sexual, and I felt like I could do without it, and I did do without it. It took me 25 years to finally start exploring myself. To college, and I had a little celibacy period. I met someone else, and I had intercourse with him like a month and a half later. So it went a lot faster than with my high school boyfriend, and also I feel like I did rush it. Also, I'm just really sensitive and emotional, and I connect really deeply when I'm intimate with someone, like in that sense. I feel like even though I went through a lot of pain when that college situation with that person ended, I really am glad that I was with him and that I got to know that part of myself, because that was the first time ever that I orgasmed and that I peaked. Not to say that he was doing so many incredible things, but he was a little bit more experienced. I was a little bit older. I was 20, almost 21. I just felt like I could be more myself. I felt like I was a little bit more comfortable. We used more protection this time, so I was proud of myself for that. But there were other times where we didn't have protection, and that was a big no-no, because again, we weren't in a committed, established, trusting relationship, and I don't know what he was doing behind closed doors. So I really wish that I always had protection. Maybe I wouldn't have orgasmed, because I feel like I only orgasmed through penetration when he wasn't wearing that. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna post this, because this is a lot of information, guys. I'm just really glad that I was able to experience that, because I would always talk with my girls, and we would always talk about boys and sex and everything. Sex, let me just say sex. What am I, 15 years old? And I just would never be that interested in talking about it. And it's because I never orgasmed, and I didn't even know what that felt like, because they always say if you don't know, or if you are always confused about it, then you probably didn't. And that was so true. Like, what I experienced with this guy in college was nothing what I experienced in high school, but I just felt like he was more sensitive to my needs. He was able to go a couple rounds, and I was able to warm up and get really in the mood, and we were at his apartment, at his place, not in my room with my family. So that was also a big thing too. I felt like I could let go. That was amazing. But things didn't work out with that guy, so I had a 5-year celibacy period again. I never really thought about masturbating or pleasuring myself, but it wasn't until I was like 24, 25 that I really wanted to start getting to know that part of me. It's not like I never get turned on. I feel like I always used to say that I was like demisexual. I only get turned on when I'm emotionally connected and turned on by someone. Of course I would get turned on. It just wasn't like too big of a deal for me. 5 years without sex, I was getting a little bit more curious, just getting more educated on my body. Whenever I'm curious about something, I always kind of go to podcasts and YouTube and just try to learn and just try to like get other people's experiences, learn from other people. So maybe that's why I do want to upload this video, because hearing other people's stories and listening to other people and getting advice from other people that I connect with really does help me. So maybe this will help some of you guys. I went on a trip to Colombia and I bought my first dildo ever because I was really curious, and I tried it, and it was a little like cheap little dildo. It broke like after like a couple times, but I really enjoyed myself. So that's when I became open to the idea of masturbating and self-pleasure. When I came back, that's when I started listening to a lot of podcasts. I started listening to Amber Rose and Single Smart Female. So those are the two main podcasts that I feel like really impacted me and inspired me. Amber Rose, and I wish she would come back and keep doing the podcast, because I really learned a lot from her. And she had a doctor on her podcast, and they would always take in calls, and they would always have a new topic of the week, and they would just give advice and share their personal experiences. Always felt like not ashamed. And I feel like sex is always a topic where people are always ashamed and you can't talk about it, and it has to be all personal and private. And I just feel like that's wrong, because sex is why we're all here. Sex is a part of life. We have organs that are made just for pleasure. Almost everyone does it. I don't think that I should be ashamed. So I started listening to Amber Rose and their podcasts and just learning and opening my mind. And I wanted to talk to my mom about it. I wanted to have like grown-up adult conversations with her, and I wanted to talk about it with my friends more, and I wanted to ask my friends for advice. And me and my cousin, my friend, went to a sex store, and we started like shopping for toys and started figuring out what we wanted to experience and what we wanted to try, and I just loved being able to freely talk about things and connect with my friends and my families in that sense that I never had before. And then the Single Smart Female podcast, it doesn't really talk too much about sex. Like, she does have some sex episodes, but it's more about dating and being an adored woman. And that was also my journey when I was exploring myself sexually and learning about sex and pleasure and taking care of yourself in that way. I also wanted to learn more about dating, because again, I was celibate for 5 years, didn't like anyone for 5 years, and before college 3 years. So I just felt like I never dated anyone. I feel like I was just meeting guys here and there that I liked, but it would never work out. And I just wanted to have fun with dating. I wanted to be an adored woman, and that's what she talks about in her podcast. You're very celebrated. You don't have to be anything than who you are, and you feel like you're enough. You're worthy. You never feel like where you are in this moment in this life is never enough, because there's someone out there that's going to love you and worship you and care about you and think that you're just so amazing and be so impressed by you in that moment. And if someone can't see that, if someone can't pursue you, if someone can't be consistent, if someone can't commit, then they're not for you, and that's okay. And she really encourages mentorage, which is dating multiple men at the same time within your comfort zone. And that's what I haven't been able to accomplish yet. I mean, I've dated a lot of men, mostly from online dating, and I've definitely become more open and happy to meet men and have them pursue me and have them pay for me when we go on dates, and not feeling guilty or shamed. Also knowing my boundaries and knowing how to spot like red flags, knowing what I like and what I don't like, and also being aware and being okay with the fact that it's not going to work out with everyone. You know, you're not meant to be with everyone, but there are so many great quality men out there, and you can still learn a lot from each experience. And just love yourself and be full with yourself is the number one most important thing that I've taken away from this journey, is just loving yourself, feeling so happy with yourself. shameful on YouTube, and she's on Instagram too. She's a sex therapist. I've also learned a lot from her. I love her videos about relationships, love, and making mistakes in that world, and self-pleasure and everything. I really dig her. I really love her. She does amazing content. I also read a soulmate book, and I'm gonna leave it here. This is more about like manifesting, but I haven't, like, I really like the things in the book. It's about manifesting your soulmate and like knowing that you will meet him and he is right there, and everything happens the time that it's gonna happen. But clearly I don't have my soulmate and my twin flame and my life partner yet, so you know, but I still did like it, and I thought it was a good audiobook to listen to. And then I've also been watching Asha C. She talks a lot about dating. She doesn't talk about sex at all, but she talks a lot about dating and being a high valued quality queen, how to present yourself, how to not stand for BS, how to know like the rules of the game. We are more susceptible to getting hurt, to getting emotionally affected really strongly by men and by situations and all those things. So I really love her videos on the topic as well. And then I also watch Shallon Lester. She talks mostly about gossip and celebrities and media, but then she also talks about like lessons to learn from them. So she's really big on women empowerment. We're gonna get hurt, we're gonna make mistakes, but learning from your mistakes, learning about your triggers and your weak spots and how to overcome certain things and just get better for the next time. That's it for my, I mean, not everything, but that has been kind of like my sexuality and my kind of like love journey, I guess. Not really love journey, but just a little bit more about me, a little bit more of my backstory in that sense. I'm still dating, I'm still learning about myself, and yeah, I'm sorry if I seem a little bit down and a little bit low energy, but it is 1 a.m. and I'm so ready to go to bed right now. I am a grandma. I love going to sleep really early, so the fact that I'm up right now is crazy. I see this makeup look and how I got it. Please go to my Instagram. I post all my makeup mini tutorial videos on there, and let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, bye.